A former Japanese Prime Minister Yasuo Fukuda has arrived in Beijing to attend a working conference of the Boao Asia Forum. Fukuda is currently the Director General of the forum. Hong Kong media have reported that he's expected to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping later today. And we're joined now in the studio by Ms. Xiaohui, Deputy Director of International and Strategic Studies at the China Institute of International Studies, to talk more about Fukuda's visit to China. First of all, how do you see the visit of a former Japanese Prime Minister to Beijing? Will this have any impact on the tense relationship between China and Japan?
Well, I have to say that his visit will have some positive effect on the current relationship between the two countries. Well, I believe one of the most important problems between the two countries is not the lack of communication, but lack of effective communication between the two sides. We all know that after the so-called state owning of the Xiaohui Islands in 2012, the two countries have experienced a lot of difficulty in maintaining a good relationship. And actually, this person, the former foreign prime minister, is an important person for maintaining the communication between the two sides. If we look into the past 2 years, this is not his first visit to China. And I believe in every visit, he played the role as a person to carry a message from both sides and to make both sides to understand each other. However, on the other hand, I'm afraid that he's not effective enough to address all kinds of deep-rooted problems between the two countries. We all know that between China and Japan, historical issues and the territorial disputes play a very important role, and this is not easily resolved by only one person or some person between the two countries. So his visit will be helpful for mending the relationship, but not effective enough.
What are the expectations from both sides about resolving differences, especially as you mentioned, the deep-rooted differences from both sides?
Well, we need to divide the expectations to two levels. The first level is the deep-rooted problems, and the second level is some practical problems. I suppose both sides have some common views on some practical problems, like managing the disputes or managing the crisis between the two countries. We all know that after the state owning of the Xiaohui Islands, the vessels of the two countries appear in the waters near the islands. And this raises a question that whether it is possible that there will be a conflict or emergency between the two countries. So currently, we have witnessed that both China and Japan are trying to manage the crisis, talk to each other. Before his visits, there's talks between the two countries about how to carry out effective management of crisis in waters. And another perspective, deep-rooted problems, I suppose both sides are trying to communicate with each other to understand each other's red lines. However, only by one visit or two visits, it is unlikely for both countries to reach agreement and finally resolve some deep-rooted problems.
All right, hope so. Thank you very much indeed, Ms. Xiaohui from the China Institute of International Studies. Thank you very much indeed.